this was my book. It's called Girl Undressed, which I think is an absolutely terrible title. But it first came out in hardback called No Man's Land. Apparently looked far too dark and far too serious and no one would ever buy it. So they changed the title to Girl Undressed because it would get more people's attention, and they whacked a kind of naked girl on the cover. It was a very dark, nasty book. It wasn't light. It didn't make light of the sex industry because it's not a nice place to work. I wanted to tell the truth about the industry because I'd spent 18 months smiling and being happy and acting like a stripper and being kind of humiliated in a way. Like, you get a lot of humiliation in those places. Like, men look at you in a certain way, they call you slut, they call you whore, they call you everything, and you just have to take it because that's your job. And I certainly didn't want to pretend in the book that this job was okay, because for me it wasn't. It was a horrible job. We sold the book in England to HarperCollins for a lot of money. And afterwards they said, first they wanted me to change my name because Ruth Fowler wasn't a sexy enough name, and that was the word they used. Secondly, they wanted to change the cover. They'd chosen a cover before I signed the book deal. After I signed the book deal, they wanted a pink cover with glitter, a girl hanging onto like a pole, a bit like the Katie Price picture. They wanted to call the book Adventures of an Accidental Stripper. You know, they were trying to turn stripping culture and sex culture and my book mainstream, which is what they're trying to do all the time now. I mean, strip clubs used to be kind of dirty, sordid, nasty places with you know, weird guys wearing long macks and looking very kind of like shifty and stuff like that. Nowadays they're not. You know, you see every celebrity going in there. When I was a stripper, I had so many people rewriting my experience and telling me what my experience was. Like, I did an interview with The Sun in 2005, and I remember sitting there in a restaurant with a journalist telling her, this job isn't very nice, this is what happens, I like the money, I like the chance I get to party every night with all these different girls. I kind of like, in a way, dressing like a slut because it's fun and it's not me, and it won't be forever. And yet when the article came out, it was this completely different thing, which was all about like how I loved my job and I would never give it up, and even if I was rich I'd still be working this job, which is a complete lie. I only did that job because I needed money. You know, I'm meant to be this intelligent girl with a master's from Cambridge and a degree from Cambridge, and I'm meant to be this talented writer, but really what launched my writing career was the fact that I took my clothes off for 18 months, and that doesn't sit very easily with me. Because I'd like to be able to say that I did it a different way. I'd like to be able to say I did it completely on my mind, and I didn't, you know, and that really, it kind of sucks. So this is a fantastic image. This is Ronaldo partying in LA because he's just celebrating his enormous transfer to Madrid, and I don't know even how much is it, £80 million. So he's in an LA nightclub with Paris Hilton partying it up. I like this image because it just seems so indicative of what we expect nowadays from our celebrities and from our footballers and from our role models. You know, Ronaldo's night in Paris kind of shows us that it's so acceptable nowadays to be kind of promiscuous. There's kind of it's much more difficult for a woman to say nowadays, like, I want one boyfriend, I want to be in love with that boyfriend, and I'm not gonna screw around, because feminism kind of fought for the rights of women to have sex like men, you know? So we got what we wanted. Like, we could have sex like men, we could be promiscuous, we could jump from bed to bed, which is kind of what these celebrities do, and it's accepted and acceptable nowadays. But it makes it much more difficult for anyone to want something else. It makes it much more weird to want something else. There's a very narrow view of sexuality going on, and a very narrow view of celebrity and success. So this is kind of the message I was sending out to kids. It's really sad.